Oh, breaking news.
In game real time, it's hard to make that bang bang call 100%. Welcome back to Saturday Sliders. It's been a minute, but we're finally back and ready to talk baseball. The World Series is wrapped, so we're diving into the big questions. Are the Dodgers officially a dynasty? And where do the Blue Jays go from here after that crashing playoff exit? I'm Almar, joined as always by Armando. Let's talk baseball.
Thanks, Omar. Yes, let's recap the World Series. Some people are calling it the greatest series of all time, greatest Game Seven of all time. What are your thoughts? This series had it all. There was a brawl, bench and clear and brawl at the in the Game Seven. It had a 18 inning Game Three, five almost 6 hour game, and right after I thought there was the Jays were kind of I thought they could not bounce back, but they bounced back with a game winning game four where you saw back to back home runs. Rookie 22-year-old pitching. Going toe to toe with the greatest of the Dodgers. Tell me, what is your thoughts on this World Series, and do you agree that is the greatest one?
It's up there with the greatest World Series of all time. And when your team is the one who's playing for the World Series, yeah, you'll call that because, like you said, there's like a like an 18 inning game, and it's like after that 10th inning, 11th inning, you'll know there's gonna be a hero. And unfortunately, it wasn't the Blue Jays who came up victorious on that 18 inning game, but like you said, Armando, the Blue Jays were able to bounce back with winning two in a row, actually, in the Dodger Stadium, and being able to go back to Toronto with the lead actually in the series, right? To take that World Series is right there, but. Let me tell you, I'm not gonna lie, Armando. That World Series loss absolutely crushed me, and I was devastated. Honestly, I'm still in disbelief, but we were two outs away from finally bringing it home, and then it was gone just like that. And what made it even harder to swallow was the Jays had their chance, bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, one out, and they just couldn't get that run across. I kept replaying that moment in my head, thinking about Varsho and IKF, but honestly, it wasn't just them. People are pointing out Varsho and IKF in that specific spot, but the whole team struggled to hit with runners in scoring position in Game Six and Game Seven. So that's been the Blue Jays' MO all year: clutch hitting, and to see that evaporate and disappear when it mattered the most was just heartbreaking. Excuse me, and it felt like the story of the entire season came full circle in the worst possible way. But it was a great series, but the Blue Jays just wasn't able to really take it and being able to capture that World Series after 32 years, right?
I agree with you. I think for me, just well, for us, being in Canada, obviously the whole nation was cheering for the Blue Jays, but it's kind of hard to. I'm still in disbelief, like as many Jays fan, how great this series was because it ended in not the outcome that we wanted, right? So it's hard to put it all. Yeah, this is the greatest series because I'm also thinking of all the chances that the Jays had. All right, so to me, like there were so many storylines and so many records, right? Like Miguel Rojas hit a game winning or game tying home run, ninth batter, right? Like it's kind of like you weren't expecting him. Because the first player since Jeff Hoffman, like 1960 to hit a home run. No, I'm sorry, Bill um, Masaroki from 1960. That was the last time that a ninth hitter hit a game winning or game tying home run. Like that's in a game seven, right? So like that's a lot of baseball, and it was really up and down, right? I thought the Jays had I literally thought when they won Game Five, I thought like, oh, two games in Toronto, they should be able to win one of those, right? Like I and the Game Seven, up and down, all the emotions. I was my legs were sore. I was jumping up and down so many times from the couch, right? Like and being loud and just cheering, like and this game had it all. Like they had like a review. Like, even the reviews were controversy, right? Like it's kind of like the ball hit getting stuck under the wall. It had it all. It's like what is going on? The emotions were very high, but it's kind of hard to put it out there to be one of the greatest just because of the outcome was not in the Jays size, right? But another one, 2001 World Series. D-backs and Yankees, that stands out to me, right? So obviously the '92 World Series uh, with Joe hitting the Grand Slam home run, right? Like against I believe it's the
It was against the Phillies. It was a
yeah
three-run
against the
home run.
Phillies, right? So it's kind of like so that stands out as well. So there's other series that stands out, but but with being the heartbreaker of this one, it's hard to swallow right now. We're putting it out there, but it definitely was a great series, and we were spoiled to a great series by two really good teams. I do believe, and I'll talk about it more, but I do believe that the best team did not win this series. That's just what I feel. The deeper team did not win the World Series, right? So and but the Dodgers, you can't give it anything. Like their stars carry them to this victory, right? Um, yeah, so that's why I think that's the way I see the World Series.
Yeah, like you said, it was a classic
Yes.
World Series. You had everything, the 18 inning, the ball getting stuck in Game Six, and then after that, a double play. Like, come on, you
Yeah.
can't you can't script that better than that one, right?
Yeah, and I thought literally when Game Six and Game Seven, just because they had so many runs and runners in scoring position, the Jays, I really thought that there was going to be another 1992 home run to walk it off. That's what I was expecting, but it was heartbreaking that they didn't cash in those running positions. But like you said, they had their chances, and it's going to be a hard pale. It's going to be a long summer. I mean, off season for the Jays and the coaching staff because they were so close to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be mentioning this as we go along here,
Yeah.
and all the Blue Jays fans and maybe all of Canada won't be able to forget about this one. It's like you said, we were talking about this. We were like texting back and forth on this one, and it's hard. Even if the Jays win, like even if it's not next year, even if they win a World Series in the next like 5 years, this loss
Hmm.
will stay forever in our minds, right? That the way they lost, because like I mentioned, they were leading the series 3-2, coming back to Toronto and not being able to close it out in those two games. That's heartbreaking, and to lose it with 2 outs away, right? To like you said, Rojas. No offense to Rojas. No
No,
offense to Rojas. If you give if you give up a homer, if you give up a homer to like a Shohei, Mookie Betts, or Freeman, okay, fine. Like tip your hat, but Rojas hasn't played, and I've seen this a lot. And Rojas hasn't hit a home run to a
no.
righty, to a righty.
I think he was
So
only like to a righty. Like I think he was that was his only third one in the whole season in playoffs,
yeah,
right? Like that was only three home runs. Like it's like what do you do, right? So
yeah.
anyways, so that's a recap. Oh, I want to mention this was the most watched World Series, 51 million viewers for our Game Seven.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it even shattered. It even shattered the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
It even shattered the Super
yeah,
Bowl. Come think of it,
even
right?
yeah. and doesn't even come close to like NBA. Like NBA
Yeah.
has not seen this type of numbers in a very long time. We're talking decades, and this World Series surpassed that. So, all right, well, let's get into the the back to back defending World Series champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers. What do you? Where does this put the Dodgers at? Is this a dynasty? Do you see them as a dynasty, or do you see them that they need one more? They need to have like a three-peat or 3 out of 4. What do you? Or 3 out of 5? What do you think? Are they a dynasty? Because they've been in the World Series since like 2016. This is the fourth appearance since like in the last 9 or 8 years, and now in that stretch they have won 3 World Series. Give me your thoughts.
Okay, back to back World Series wins for the Dodgers. That's the first time, Armando, we've seen that in the Major League Baseball since the Yankees went three straight from '98 to 2000. But like you mentioned, are they a dynasty? No, not yet. Hear me out here, Armando. I didn't hear anyone calling the San Francisco Giants a dynasty when they won 3 World Series in 5 years. Same with the Kansas City Chiefs. They've gone back to back and won 3 in the last 5 years. And even then, people hesitated to throw around that word. That's kind of where the Dodgers are right now. Yeah, they won in 2020 and now they've gone back to back. That's impressive. Don't get me wrong, don't get us wrong. But to me, if they repeat, then absolutely hands down. That's the plateau you have to reach to be called a dynasty. Especially for a powerhouse franchise like the Dodgers. They're not gonna get then no one's gonna crown their team that easily with this powerhouse team. That's where I'm at with this one. Not yet. I'm not calling them a dynasty yet.
I'm not. I agree with you. I think from an organization, from the label, marketing of the brand of Los Angeles Dodgers, I'm gonna say they are a dynasty because 4 World Series appearance or 5 in the last 10 years, in the last decade. That's not only it's impressive that from the the GM and all the like baseball operations, so the owner, all this different parts, the development scouts. Like I believe they are the dynasty. From a player's perspective, no, because they haven't been all together, right? So Kershaw is the only one who has been to all of them. Dave Roberts, Mookie Betts, but other than that, there's been so many supportive casts, and right, so I think so. No, from a field perspective, they're not a dynasty. They need one more um, in the next 2 years, and in order to be considered a new dynasty, right? So, uh, and where do you hear that about the Giants? I see them as a dynasty, winning 3 out of 5.
Well, I did hear over here in Canada, so but like I said, if the Dodgers, if Los Angeles weren't calling you a dynasty back then, why are we calling them dynasty right now? That like you have to prove your like I'm not disagreeing with you. It's been impressive. They've been into World Series, but the rings is what matters.
Yeah,
Did you actually win? Did you actually win? Which they have back to back and 3 in the last 5. Yeah. But if they repeat or again, if they don't next year and they won another one, then I'll call them a dynasty
right,
because they've actually showed that they can actually win. Because like if you're a powerhouse team, you're meant to win. Even
right.
with against the Jays, right? What before the series, it was like 70%, 70 to 30% towards the Dodgers winning the World Series. That's how that's how
Yeah,
powerhouse they are.
right.
Everyone was picking them to win. So
Yeah,
if you're projected to win that that much, then you have to prove you actually can win, and then we can call you a dynasty. That's where I'm at.
yeah. What's your chances of? Do you see them repeating, going back a three-peat? They're
No
the favorites
doubt.
in the National League right now.
No, no doubt they have like 90 million coming off the books. So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna doubt they're gonna add more players to them because if you have a chance to repeat, then absolutely you have to
Right. I think
actually have to
organization
try.
players, they the chance of a three-peat, they organizations and players, they give them the chances to do that, right? So, and I'm gonna say just for this series, back to the second back to back, I'm gonna say this is a payroll victory because we saw it in Game 6 and in Game 7. The Dodgers, Dave Roberts, they were willing to go down with the ship with all the starters, with all the money they have spent in the last 2 years or 3 years with getting Tyler Guzman and Blake Snells and Roki's pitch in Game 6, but not in Game 7. But your Yamamoto pitch, uh, and be, and I see them as like they were going to go down with their stars on the field. No one else. They're they spent $80 million on the bullpen this on 1 year contracts with pitchers. That's a lot for a bullpen, and didn't even pitch on Game 6 or Game 7. They were willing. I say this was a payroll victory.
Yep, like the amount of money they threw to like Kirby Yates and Tanner Scott, it didn't work.
Yeah.
They weren't even in the World Series lineup. So
No, they
like you
weren't in the
said,
roster. Yeah.
mhm. So what like they're gonna sink and swim. They're gonna sink or swim with the starters, which is like
Yeah.
in Game
Their
Seven,
stars. Yeah.
181 million dollars.
Exactly. So, and all this nonsense. People who have watched this podcast, they know I'm a Giants fan. This is the Giants and Blue Jays takes. I don't. I dislike the Dodgers, but this is not for all the people that have ruined baseball. How can you get mad of an owner spending money, right? The people who ruin baseball or those organizations who don't spend any money, they don't go after stars, or they don't care about their stadiums being empty in the ballpark for a home product. So to me, those small markets, not even small market teams, those type of owners organizations, they're the ones who are ruining baseball because then owners think like they can move a team out of that city because they're not winning, so we always hear that in the background. Well, maybe they can move to somewhere else. Those are the organizations that ruin baseball, not the Dodgers. Dodgers, I do agree. There has to be a catch. They just can't defer money for all this. They have found a loophole. They're trying. You can't get mad at that, but you do have to. There has to be a rule that you can't defer everything, right? So they have to stop to that, but like they're not ruining baseball.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this in the off season with on the next episodes that we're gonna talk. But to just to touch base on this one, people are telling us that Dodgers are ruining baseball. They're not, but just to point it out here on that repeat, that CBA is coming up 2027, we might look at a lockout. So the Dodgers would probably and most likely would spend a lot of money this offseason to try to win that three-peat,
Yeah,
because we never know what's gonna happen in the next CBA. If there's a lockout, then everyone's out of jobs for the meantime, right? So if you actually can win before that happens, then I think the Dodgers will spend all the money and all the power that they can get just to be able to three-peat. But we're
right.
gonna touch base on
Yeah,
CBAs
we
and
will.
all those salary deferrals in the next episodes that we're gonna have.
Perfect. Well, let's move on to the Jays, the Blue Jays. First time they have made the World Series since 1992, 32-year drought. Like we said, like everybody was happy, celebrating in Canada. Even Brianna, who really doesn't doesn't care about the like the World Series unless the Giants, like she was watching. But I was like going out to bars at my friend's house, and she was like texting me, Where's the game at? I want to put it on." So it's like everybody was watching baseball, but it's like we said, it was that devastating loss. But where does this leave the Blue Jays at?
Okay, I mentioned this earlier. The Blue Jays aren't they won't forget this one anytime soon. You could feel it from the top to bottom. Even President Mark Shapiro said during the end of the year address that he couldn't even look out at the field for 2 days after that loss. That says it all here.
Yeah.
This was gonna sting for a long time, even if they, like I said, even if they win next year or the year after that. The players echoed that too. This was a special group, and that's the top part of this one because not everyone from this roster will be back next season. That's a
Yeah.
guarantee. But here's the thing about baseball, it's unpredictable. We know that. Everyone knows that. The Jays finished dead last in the AL East last year, and this season they were only projected to win 76 games. So they completely outperformed that, which is great. Now the worst thing that the Blue Jays can do this offseason is stand pat. So they've got to make moves, starting with the rotation. Shane Bieber opting in is a good sign. So
Oh yeah.
he already opted in. So but they still need the true ace to push down Gossman and Savage down the order. Ross Atkins already said they're on the phones looking for trades, and honestly, that's a smart route to go to because Bo Bichette, you have to give the money to Bo Bichette. That's priority number one for the Blue Jays. So I'm looking at 200 million for Bo Bichette, and honestly, he's earned it before the knee injury. I'm not laughing at the injury here, but before
No.
the knee injury, Bo Bichette was leading the league in hits, and then he came back after a month and a half, played on one good leg in the World Series, and he didn't miss a beat. So here's what I do if I'm the Blue Jays front officer, Armando. So you gotta resign. Try to resign Bo, maybe 215 mil to 230 million. Get it done. Get a front end starter. Add a legit closer. No offense to Hoffman, but Hoffman was a first time full time closer this season, and it actually showed. Find a right handed bat off the bench, and if they can check those boxes this off season, I think it's a win. That then it's about running it back and proving they belong in the playoff picture again next year. But yeah, it starts with Bo, and everything should fall right into places.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the starting rotation and Bo has to be the top priorities. First of all, like obviously now we can look back, right? Like it's kind of like, but a 41-year-old Max Scherzer started Game 7, right? Like no offense to that, but like that can't be your last option, right? As
Yeah,
much as it was great, right? And he only pitched like 2 and 2/3 or 3 innings, right? Like, and then they moved on. But it's like you can't have that, right? Like it's all the Dodgers starter, like compared to the Dodgers pitching staff, they were deep. Like they're starting like they had all the top guns and they were all going deep. You cannot have that, right? So the started pitching has to be. I'm not going to say the Jays are going to go back because first of all they're in a tough division, right? So the Red Sox are coming. The Yankees are always going to be there, right? So, but as an organization, you cannot stand still or back up. Like you have the key pieces. We finally saw Vlad and Bo in the playoffs and in the World Series performing, right? Like for so many years, people wonder are are they as good as their dads, or are they going to become better, or are they going to carry this organization to the promised land, right? So we saw that in display. Last year, we thought everyone was waiting for Shohei and Judge. That they deliver. This World Series, Shohei and Vlad, they deliver. And that was impressive. To see Vlad be um, shining so bright like he did, you, you have to give all you have to give all the research for them to go back because they have the key players.
Yep, that's true. Yep. You mentioned how deep the starting rotation for the Dodgers is. Can you imagine if the Blue Jays weren't able to bring up rookie Rhea Savage? They won't be even in this place, right? Like they
Right.
won't even make probably they don't make the they they probably make the playoffs, but they won't be able to beat the Yankees if the Savage wasn't in the lineup. So you have to think of this like you have to add on the starting rotation to make it deeper
Yeah.
as it is because you never know with your Savage. Yeah, we saw the greatness, but he's still a rookie. He's still a rookie. Anything can
Yeah.
happen. He might struggle, hopefully not, but you gotta think that way. Like there's gotta be some thinking there that if your Savage doesn't really perform during the season, then you have that of front end guy in the rotation that can hold your fort while Savage is still
Exactly
the
right.
learning into the season, right? Because it's just gonna be a full season for him.
Yeah, I agree with you. So one more thing, before we wrapped up, give me your thoughts on the ball being stuck underneath the wall. It's a controversy. Was it really stuck? Give me, or even your thoughts on Vlad striking out the way he did, with the high changeup from Blake Snell's, right? Like, give me your thoughts.
I mean, it's baseball, right? This is where everything everything is unique with baseball. It's just different ballparks have different configuration, and there's
Correct.
like different rules on baseballs, right? If it's in the padding, then the ruling in the Rogers Center is just if it's stuck there in the padding, then it's a ground rule double. Everyone knew that. John Snyder knew that. Kike Hernandez knew that. The center fielder knew that. Kike Hernandez raised his hand as soon as he saw the ball, and John Snyder, like even Dalton Varsho knew it. Dalton Varsho, the Toronto Blue Jays Gold Glove center fielder, knew that it was a ground rule double. So like you said, it's the bounces just didn't go the Blue
Yeah,
Jays way.
that's
The bounces
correct.
just didn't go the Blue Jays way. With Vlad, we we've we've texted back and forth on this one. We didn't agree with the swing 3-0. It was away, even if it was like a fastball away, he could have gotten it. Yeah, true. But for me, if I'm swinging at a 3-0 pitch, I got it has to be like middle, at least like a middle in, not like away. Because if you're swinging at that 3-0 pitch, you gotta go with where the pitch is and not pull it. But everyone was saying, yeah, it was close, but it wasn't. Like it wasn't on. It was the outfielder was still on the grass, so he didn't get it all. But the Jays had the opportunity in the
Yeah,
ninth inning. It was like a sacrifice fly, like a
yeah,
sacrifice fly. That's
yeah.
it. But
Oh
like I
man,
mentioned, the bounces just didn't go the Jays'
yeah.
way, and
I'm
props
not.
to the Dodgers. But Shohei and Vlad in the World Series, that's phenomenal, right? We were like as for years now, we were like everyone in the Blue Jays, can Vlad actually perform in the playoffs when it mattered the most? And after signing that massive 14-year, $500 million contract, Vlad showed that it's all worth it, right? He showed in the playoffs, he showed in the World Series, and now they move, right? Now you have that centerpiece of Vlad Guerrero Jr. And what do the Jays do with that? If they don't do anything to like run it back or like improve on this team, then it's a massive failure for the organization if they don't.
Right. No, I agree with you. I think the only thing that I didn't like, I thought it was a it got stuck. Like it was very obvious, right? Like a lot of people were saying, like, "Oh, that was a they screwed the Jays." Like, no, I think that what its controversy is that the by rule the umpire can run go into the field to confirm that there's actually that is stuck. The umpire they got together there, like like mountain like at the end, but no one went into the field to actually confirm that it was stuck. And I think that's what the controversy is. Like everybody, it was like they just took the Dodgers. Like I was like, oh yeah, they raised their hands like it's stuck. I was like, okay, good, it's a ground rule double. But did you go and confirm it? Right. So I think that's but because by rule you can go out there, and no one did. So I think that's what the only thing bothers me. It the Vlad, he's gonna learn from this. He was not at that time. They had the green light, or maybe he always has the green light because that's his. But he's gonna learn from this. He's gonna know that a smart pitcher, like they did, that they were gonna try to make him. They also understand he has the green light, so they're gonna try to challenge him, outsmart him, right? Because he's a young player, right? So he's gonna be undisciplined. So he's gonna learn from this, and I think it's gonna be better for him. There's a lot of things that we can talk about. Um, a lot of things we can talk about the Jays and their missed opportunities. I think the only thing that bothers me about it, we didn't see Kevin Gossman in Game Seven. He pitched Game Five. He should have been out there, in my opinion. I, that's just my thing. All hands on deck. Like right, that's why we have pitching performances in the World Series because you see pitchers giving it all up, right? Like and I'm not sure why. Maybe they just believe on the bullpen that they can carry the team, but I don't understand why Kevin was not out there in Game Seven.
Yeah, here's the thing with that one. The Dodgers, we all know how how
Yeah,
bad their bullpen is. So
yeah,
we knew right off the bat, Game Seven. There's no way any other any other pitcher would come out of the pen. Well, disregard the brawl there, but
yeah,
yeah, no one's gonna come out of the pen for the Dodgers, but the Blue Jays pen all throughout not the off season, the postseason and in the World Series, they were actually good. They were holding it.
yeah,
So they John Snyder had a lot of faith um with their bullpen, Varland, Sir Anthony Dominguez, Hoffman, and Mason Fluharty. They were able to they can close it out. Unfortunately, Hoffman coughed up that lead. But yeah, like you said, Gospel, I think he pitched game six, not game 5. So fact check on that one. But
yeah.
but like you said, even if it's game 6, because Yamamoto pitched game 6, right? so
Yamamoto pitcher. Well,
so
in saying that, let's go with the last topic around the bases. Your World Series MVP goes to Yamamoto. He joins um, Randy Johnson as the only pitcher to get three victories in the World Series. He was lights out, as you saw that not just in the World Series but throughout the whole playoffs, going pitching complete games, back to back complete games, joining Kurt Schilling as the only one who go back to back. Well, since Kurt Schilling in the 2001 Diamondbacks, where do you rank the Yamamoto's performance ranking against other top performances?
okay, Yamamoto is up there with the big unit and Mad Bum. Yeah, I said that, Armando. The guy was an absolute freak against the Blue Jays. To pitch a complete game in game 2, then come back with 6 strong innings in game 6 and still go out there to close it out in game 7. That's unreal and hands down one of the best pitching performances we've ever seen in a World Series. The moment never got too big for him. He just dominated pitch after pitch. That's legendary stuff there for Yamamoto, and the Jays just couldn't solve him. For the life of me, when Dave Roberts announced that Yamamoto will be available in Game 6, everyone in Toronto and in Canada be like, oh no, don't, because
Yeah.
he was that good in this series and in the postseason actually. So that $325 million contract, money well spent with Yamamoto. He was a freak. Remember, he was warming up for that 18th
Yeah.
inning after pitching a complete
Yeah.
game in
In
game
game two,
two.
yeah, like it's crazy.
Come
He
on.
was just hanging out the bullpen. How serious?
That's how good. And to be able, because he was the one who told the pitching staff, the pitching coaches, okay, I'm gonna go to the bullpen and be ready to pitch in in that 18 inning game. That's unreal. That's dedication right there, and that's what that's what you want for your pitchers and players, right? That dedication to like actually want to win.
Yeah, no, to me, I wouldn't put it in a top 10 performance. I put it up. Yamamoto, he was lights out, but I don't think I would put it like maybe top 15. Um, we It doesn't even when you compare Mattis Backburner against his number, it doesn't even compare. Like Mad Bum is like night and day. He it was unreal what Madison did. Kurt Schilling even too. Like it's Randy Johnson. He's when you compare his numbers, like it doesn't even compare. So not to take anything about it, but I like game seven. The fact is that he pitched game six, 96 pitches, and he was available for game seven, and he pitched two and a 2/3 innings. He hit 30 something pitches, 37 pitches again, right? So his arm was even he said like when he was warming up, he didn't have it, but he got warmer up. And I after the ninth inning, I was like, oh man, they can't solve him. And they had a chance in the ninth inning, but he escaped, and that was impressive. The fact is, any pitcher, Madison, Randy Johnson, Kurt Schilling, pitchers that make multiple performance, that's where they're it's memorable, right? So yes, it's up there, but it's not the best one that I've seen because I've seen a Duque pitch as well, Levin Hernandez, Josh Beckett. He Josh Beckett went one in the World Series, but his ERA was under one against the Dodgers. I mean against the Yankees. You know, like it's so that's what I say. But we got to give it up to the one thing that I will see with Yamamoto. He's only 27 years old. He's he's not even in his prime. He's not even in his prime, and he's already pitching lights out. Some people are comparing him to Nets. Uh, uh, Comparing him to like the Braves pitchers in the '90s. He's not when he figures out how to pitch and overthink batters and not just rely on his like talent, but when he starts hitting all the corners and just like pitching throwing less pitches in the game, that's when he's gonna become even better. And it's scary to think that he can get better.
Yeah. Well, it's funny that you were picking him as your top 15, but but like I said, we have a lot of great pitching performances in the World Series. Yeah. He didn't have that. He didn't have the good stuff in Game 7, and Dave Roberts was willing to sync with him,
Yeah,
right? So he almost cuffed it up with that swing with 2 outs away in the ninth inning when remember when Ernie Clement hit that fly ball and it took Pajes to like go up there and save the day for them. But if it dropped, then who knows? We're talking
right.
differently right now. But like we mentioned, the bounces did go the Jays way, and
Yeah.
Yamamoto
I'm not,
was the hero.
you're trying to be a hater on Yamamoto. It was really great. But it's kind of like when you just can't. I think that's what the with young generation or the media that we live in is like, oh, he's the goat. Like Dave Roberts already call him a goat. And it's like, well,
I see your face now.
but no, like how can you call him the goat when Sandy Koufax in 1965 pitched Game Five and Game Seven, and he was a serious World MVP, right? Josh Beckett, I mentioned. Uh, Scott McGregor, like right. So like, there's been a lot of. We have to look at the whole picture, the whole history. There's other pitchers that have come before him who have pitched as good or even better as Yamamoto. We just cannot. We have to look at the whole history here, right? Like there's been other performers, and obviously, me and you have been watching baseball since like early '90s, so it's kind of like we've seen this kind of performance before. So like to me, let's just not give him the gold status when there's been other people who have come before him.
Yeah, true. And he like how many wins did he even have this season? I fact check me on this one. It was like around 12, right? So
Yeah, he was hurt,
you
right?
you
Like
you, you you're not like if we're mentioning about GOAT, you're not even in the the vicinity of the Randy Johnsons of the world here right now. Like no, like if
exactly, yeah.
like if you're mentioning about this World Series, like how he pitches, like yeah, he it's a great performance, but like you said, I if you call him the goat, if Dave Roberts calling him the goat right now, just settle down right now. Not even close yet.
It's not even close,
Not
yeah.
even a not even a copy yet.
No, it just that's why I said top 15. I don't know, like it's I don't even know. Like I just threw out a ranking of 15, but I seen some good pitching performance with those type of numbers, right? So um, yeah, so that's just that's my thoughts on the World Series. Any closing remarks?
No, I think we've covered this World Series and we're ready to move on. Well, the Blue Jays, the Blue Jays, we won't be able to move on, but we have to move on because,
Oh yeah.
because, because it's a new season next year, and the general managers are in a meeting right now, and the off season is ongoing. So we'll see how it goes, but this is our World Series stake. So it was a great World Series. I like like we mentioned, it didn't go the Blue Jays way, but it was great that we witnessed World Series after 32 years.
No, I agree with you. It's you asked me how, how do I feel about the when the Giants lost in 2002 against the Anaheim Angels. Uh, it, you can never really get over it, right? Like Giants fans are still not over that one because there's so many you remember certain things like, oh man, that if only that play would have bounced, that ball would have bounced our way, it would have changed everything, right? So, and then when you see like Jeff Kent or JT Snow, players like Labor, like they never won it, they never won the big one, right? I Vlad comparison to Vlad and Barry Bonds is like, oh, they can never perform in the playoffs. In that World Series, yes, Barry Bonds had awful World Series numbers, but that year he put on a show numbers that not even Judge or Vlad came close to. Like they were comparing a lot of Bonds numbers to Vlad his playoff run this year, you know, but like his numbers he finally put up the show like where everybody was waiting for it, and to come up close, it's just like, oh, it's a heartbreak, right? Even after like so many years, it's you really don't never get over it, right? Because you want those players to go out as winners, right, or to be champions.
Yeah, that's what's sad with not winning this World Series, because you never know how many more years Gossman can pitch the
Right.
Bassett's, right?
Yeah.
Those veterans. I remember one reporter said when Savage asked Gossman during the ALCS, Savage asked Gossman how far how far were you in in the playoffs, and Gossman was like, this is the farthest I've gone. That
Yeah,
was
that
in
is
the
true. Yeah.
ALCS, right? So when you go to the World Series and not win, that's what's tough, right? Because you never know, next year
You
they
never
might not
know,
be there,
right?
right?
So,
So yeah. So that,
well, that
like you
was
mentioned when we were talking about it, and that's the toughest one, because players that weren't able to like actually win a World Series all throughout their career, right?
right. So, well, yeah. Well, that's it for my comments. I had enough
Yeah.
with the Dodgers talk. Let's move on.
I know. So yeah, me too. Let's move along now. So that's gonna do it for this week's episode of Saturday Sliders. We'll be rolling through the off season with weekly or bi-weekly episodes to keep you all in the loop. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. It really helps us out. And if you're tuning in on Spotify, drop us a 5-star review so more baseball fans can find the show. Thanks so much for being with us this episode, and we'll catch you next time on Saturday Sliders.